Greetings, Mad Crafters. Madragoric here, and I've got a doozy for you today. Yep, what you are looking at is an automated XP storage system. That's right, automated. I've utilized the ZeroTick mechanic to actually collect cactus and bamboo in the same system. See, we got bamboo on this side going and cactus on this side going. Then I have those filtered down into water streams. The cactus coming over here to the top of the furnaces to supply that. And then in the back, I've got bamboo flowing to some hoppers in the back to supply as our fuel. And these will keep going. It'll keep going like this until all of these furnaces are full. Meaning the dropper is full, the hopper is full, and then this furnace is up to 64. Once it's hit 64, it can't drain anymore. It'll turn off, and that system right there, which is a total of 15 stacks of green dye from smelting cactus, once you remove that stack of 64 out of there, that'll give you 11 XP per furnace. So, and these 8 in the middle, I was doing a test, it actually takes 8, and that'll get you up to 30 XP. Now, as you can look up here, you see, hey, that was going a minute ago, but the cactus stopped. Why did that stop? Well, over here we have a comparator on this hopper. When it gets to a certain level, the signal strength is going to come down here strong enough to turn on this repeater, which goes up this tower, and went over there and turns it off. See, now that it needed more, that turned off. So the cactus ZeroTick side of the farm kicked back into action to provide more cactus for the system. And that'll keep going until, again, you get to a certain level in this, and this source strength and the signal strength gets strong enough to turn that back on to actually go back in and turn off the ZeroTick cactus. So it only runs when it needs to. That also means so we don't have all these pistons going all the time, and also we don't have just entities just sitting down here waiting to be used or waiting to despawn after 5 minutes. That's just going to create lag. So we only want to have this running when we need it. That's the same thing for the bamboo. Now the bamboo works a little bit different. So on the bamboo, our first signal is at the very end in this hopper here. When this one fills, it's completely full, it'll signal to this piston, which will push over this blue block over here, which, since we have this redstone torch here, that'll get powered, powering the redstone repeater up this tower, powering this block over here to turn off the clock on this side, which will turn off this ZeroTick farm over here for the bamboo. Now, to turn it on, the way this works is once it's turned off, all of these will start getting used. As it gets down to a certain level, once it counteracts this other comparator here in subtract mode, this torch will come on. And then this will power this line here, which will power this piston here, which pushes this observer over. Well, once this observer moves, it's like, hey, I moved. And it shoots out a little piece of power into this piston right here, which quickly moves this block back over. Since we've moved that, taken away power from there and up to there, this will kick back into action and start pumping out more bamboo. And that'll repeat the process as needed. Now you can see that these are all done now. But I tested it so we don't have the full 11 XP in there, but I can show you in one of these other ones. So we haven't used this one yet. All right, let's jump over into survival. Just like that. Then we can go back to the game and I show you we're in survival now. Now I can go up to this furnace right here and click on that. And once I take all this green dye out, close it out, you see I have 11 XP. So you get a little over 11 XP. So you get that for every furnace. And then once you've done that, what you want to do is go ahead and click on that right there, that lever right there, and then you'll see your lamp comes on, and that's going to have green dye flowing over here into our disposal. But what we also have is just a little way to collect some, so we always have some green dye handy if we need it. And once this gets full, it'll bypass it and go straight into the dropper. We can show you that real quick. Let's go to that. Go ahead and dump that green dye into there. You see, it just spits it out and throws it in the lava and gets rid of it. Now, once this is done draining, once this dropper is done and this hopper, this lamp will go out and then it'll just kind of flash at you every time one comes through. Now, you're not losing any XP collected in that furnace. It'll just let you know, it's like, hey, you need to go ahead and lock that back off. So you can measure how much you collect in there, and so you know when it's done. You have your 11. All right. So let's jump back into creative real quick. All right. So we're going to go over here and talk about how to build this thing up. So what I want you to do, this is kind of a weird looking start, but this is the area I want you to set up. It's going to be a 12 by 23. Overall, this thing is going to be about 15 blocks high, I believe. So you want to make it 12 by 23. Set up the two towers in the back. Then you got this weird guy looking thing over here. So you see it goes down two. It's like step down right there. That's just one down. Then you have the little three pieces right there. So that's 12 by 23. So take a screenshot and set that up. Now, for the items you'll need, got everything shown in here. You'll need one redstone lamp, several comparators and redstone repeaters, a redstone torch, some redstone dust, of course, one sticky piston, a couple of regular pistons, one observer, a few levers. Then you'll need some furnaces and droppers, quite a few hoppers. You'll probably need about a stack and a half of hoppers, a chest, some stone pressure plates, some blocks of choice. I've just got a few here that I've used for the tutorial. You'll need sand, some glass panes, a few signs, bucket of water, bucket of lava, of course bamboo, and cactus. So let's go ahead, and this is going to take a little while, I know, but it's well worth it. You'll love it. XP on demand. So let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. Hey guys, one other thing before we move on. Now there are some things you have to do with this farm. For example, let's look at this thing. So this can't be running whenever you log off. Okay? You need to turn it off, or the ZeroTick up there, the sand will break. So before you log off, please make sure you turn that master switch to the off position. That'll keep your system from breaking. Also, because our sensors are set up on this end with that hopper and on this side, when you first take XP out of this, if this is all done, you need to take both the first furnace and the last furnace, no matter what. You need to take both of those furnaces. Because if not, the sensing mechanism, the comparators off of these hoppers will not work correctly, and your systems, your bamboo and cactus ZeroTick systems won't fire back up correctly. So it's just a little thing. Just whenever you go to get XP, make sure you get the first and last one, and then you can get the middle ones any order you want. But you have to take that first and last one at the same time all the time. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Also, you may be thinking, well, I could use kelp on this. Well, kelp only produces 0.1 XP per smelt. So you could use kelp and use it with the smoker because it's twice as fast, but in the big picture, it doesn't do any better because it's the same thing. It takes the same amount of time, but you're going to be running that kelp ZeroTick Farm longer because it takes longer for the ZeroTick the XP to collect, and you'd have to put twice as much space down here to get the same amount of XP. You'd have to have a couple of droppers and hoppers to collect the same amount, so you get the same amount of XP. So it'd make it larger. So I really think it'd still be better to have it with a cactus farm. All right. So I just wanted to let y'all know about that. So let's continue on with this tutorial. All right. Let's jump into this. So we're going to start at this funny looking face looking thing, and we're going to set up our disposal system. So what we're going to do is we're going to set a dropper right there. We're going to put a comparator right behind that. And then on this opposite of that, we're going to put a repeater on one tick, and then redstone dust in between there and there. This is the old school clock system. Still works great. No reason not to use it. Now we're going to come over here. We're going to take a bucket of lava, place it right into this hole, and then place glass around it, or any block you want, just so we don't fall in it and die. Okay, so break that. Okay, so our disposal system all set up and ready to go. I like it. All right, so now we're going to move over here. We're going to set up this little collection system down here so we can have green dye whenever we need it. So we're going to set a chest down right there. I'm going to crouch down. I'm going to place a hopper going right down into the chest just like that. And I'm going to come back up. And then over here I'm going to have 3 hoppers going directly into this dropper over here. So 1, 2, and 3. Right like that. All right, so that looks good. All right, now what we need is to right over here place a light indication system. So we know whenever the dye is flowing from the system over in there getting disposed of. So all we need to do is place a comparator right off of this hopper, just like so. Then we're going to place a block right next to it, like that. And then we're going to get some redstone dust, place a dot of redstone dust on top of the block, right there. Place another block in front of it. And then we're going to get our redstone lamp and place that on top of that block. And that should do it. Now for the bulk of the furnace system. So we're going to kind of go through this kind of quickly because it's kind of repetitive. So we're going to put some temporary blocks up there. Now we're going to take these droppers and you need to put them facing down. And then we're going to have 12 droppers facing down going across just like so. And then above that we're going to place our furnaces. And again, 12 furnaces going all the way across directly above the droppers. Now we're going to take these hoppers and flow them all into that line over there that we made before. And then we're going to have hoppers flowing down from the droppers into those. Now we're going to put a little temporary place to walk on up there so we can put hoppers facing down from the furnaces into the droppers. Then we're going to do another one just like so, and then get some more droppers and put those going down into the furnaces. Okay, let's get rid of all this temporary blocks here. We don't need any of this. All this gone. Okay, go. There we go. Now we're going to keep this, put that there, and then we're going to put levers in front of every dropper and turn it on as we place it. This will lock the hoppers below so they don't drain out. So for the front of it, that's all you do. That should be good to go. Now let's flip around to the back. From here, we're going to set up our hopper system for our bamboo. So that's going to be 3 hoppers coming out of every furnace. Now we do this so we have a plenty enough distance between the ice water flow later on, but we'll get to that. So get all 3 of these put on just like so. And the last one there, and there you go. So that's all of our bamboo flow into our furnaces. Now let's set up the control on this side of the system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a temporary block right there, and then one next to it. Then I go back and break that one. Okay, and then put 2 more. And then we're going to come up here, and I'm going to place a comparator coming out of this last hopper, just like so. Then I'm going to have another comparator going into that one in subtract mode. Then on the other side of that, I'm going to place a hopper. Now, you could use a chest if you want to. You just have to place more stuff in it. I like using a hopper because I just have to fill it up with 5 stacks of whatever I have. So you put 5 stacks in there, and then we'll come over here. I'm going to put a temporary block there and then one up. Let's break that one. And then I'm going to get a regular piston on the other side, kind of facing backwards. I'm going to place that piston just like that. Now I'm going to place a block on front of that. And then I'm going to come around to this other side. Then I'm going to place 1, 2, and 3. Just like so. Then we're going to break that middle one right there, and then I'm going to place another regular piston facing into it, just like that. Now I'll break the block in front of it. On the other side, I need to place some more temporaries, 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to place a observer facing into that block. And we'll break those 3. And then I'm going to place 2 blocks right next to that observer. We're going to break the middle one. And then we're going to take a sticky piston and face it that way. Now we're just going to do a step down. Down one there, and then down another couple there. Then we'll break these top ones. And then we're going to take that bottom block and we're going to carry it all the way over to the other side until it meets up with that original setup there. And then go 3, 4, 5 out from there. So, and then from there we're going to take redstone dust, cover the top of that, right to that corner. And then I'm going to place a redstone repeater on 1 tick. And then carry that redstone all the way back over to that piston. So that's going to set up that side of the control for the bamboo. So let's jump on the other side. So let's get this side set up. But the first thing we got to do is got to set up some support system. So I'm going to put a temporary block there, and then put 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks there. Let me break that one. So now I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to put another block there, and then 1 outside of that, then break that. Okay, then move up here to the front. Another block there, 2 up, 1 out. Break that one. 1 down there, break that one. And then down here, I'm just going to do a step down, just like so, to that bottom blue line we originally put whenever we set everything up, and then break it down. So I just have the 4 blocks stepping down. All right, that looks good. That looks good. Now let's jump on and put some redstone on there. So what we're going to do is place a comparator coming out of that hopper right there into that block, and then another comparator in subtract mode facing to that one. And again, we're going to put another hopper right next to it. In this case, I only want you to put like 1 stack because we wanted this one to react sooner than the one on the other side. Now after we've done that, we're going to set up another comparator over here, and this is for our cactus. So when that, we get a reading from that so we can control that. Now if we move down here, I want to put a redstone torch right here. That'll light everything up. You should see that piston fire over there, which is good. Now we're going to move down and just kind of step down some redstone dust all the way down here, all the way to the back, and then the last place we're going to place a redstone repeater on 1 tick. So that'll set up all our controls. So now we're going to jump in and put it in our water. So starting over here, I want you to crouch down and then place ice packed ice all the way around like that. Now you got to make a 3 block gap in between those 2 lines and then come back 8. And the same thing on the other side, except you're only going to do 2 block gap and then still come back to 8. Now all I want you to do is just take your block of choice and just kind of outline the ice. So we're going to do that just there, and then kind of come around, go around all the way. Then we're going to go around the end, place it there, then come across this way, and then fill this in right like that. Looking great. Looking great. Now we're going to take a chest and we're going to put a double chest right there, and then 1 right next to it. This is to align our items as they flow through the water. So we'll need another double chest over on this side also. At this point, we want to get our glass panes, and we will line those up over the top of the hoppers. One's over at the top, and then the hoppers at the bottom, just like so. So y'all get done with that, and I'll wait here for you to get done. You know, ice makes a good shuffleboard. Oh, what? Oh, that was a little weak. That was a little weak. Oh, wait. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ooh. Oh, wait. I think something's coming. Ooh, pufferfish. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Love fish. Oh, we're supposed to be building some, aren't we? Oh. Sorry about that. Let's get back to it. Sorry. Okay. So, Now we need to go back and place in some pressure plates so we can control the flow of water. It only flows 8 blocks, so we got to make sure we have flow all the way around these things. So kind of look where I placed those and do the same thing on yours. Now we're going to come over here, and wherever you have blue, and in my case the blue block, I want you to place glass. If it's down 1, bring it up 2. So just go around here, and we're putting in our wall so we can hold our water in and create our water flow pass. So make sure you get the middle here. All good, looking good. Now we'll come back over here. Let's fill that in, just right on top of those blue blocks. But leave it open over the packed ice. All right, that looks good. Now let's drop in a little bit of water. So we're taking a bucket of water down here at the end. I'm going to place a bucket of water there. It should flow right to the pressure plate. And then on the other side of the pressure plate, I'm going to put another bucket, and it'll go around the corner. And then finally on the end. Don't worry about that last one. They'll have enough momentum to slide. So before we can put this more water in, we need to block off the top. Now you got to leave that one spot open for the items to flow down. So we just work our way around and fill all the rest of this in. Now we've got all that filled in, we can put in our bucket of water. So we place it there, let it flow down, and then again after the pressure plate, it'll flow to the other pressure plate, and then after the pressure plate again, and one more time. Now that should be all of our water flow set up and ready to go. Now what I need you to do is get your block of choice and go over here to where these holes are, and I need you to build up around it. Kind of just, we want to make sure everything falls down in the right spot. So around that hole, and then again over here around this hole. Just like so. Yep, and that'll do it. All right, now we need to go set up our clocks for our ZeroTicks and some more controls. So what we're going to do is go down here. We're going to place 3 blocks up, just like so. Break out the 2 on the bottom, and then build upstairs, just like so, up. I'm going to go 2 up here, break the middle one, and then go 2 up here, and then break that one right there. Now we're going to move out to the outside, and we're going to set up our clock. So we're going to come out 2, break that 1, and then go down 2, and then set up a kind of a plus sign on each side. So we'll do that on the left, now on the right, just up like that. Now go back and break the 3 in the middle, just like so. All right. Now, around the back side of that area, we're going to take this top one we did originally and carry it over to the first piece of glass to right where it meets up with that 1 block. Okay. Now we're going to go to the other side, do the same thing. It'll be a little bit easier though, because we don't have the same controls that we have to manage down there. So we're going to bring 1 across there, 1 up on the 4th block of glass. Then across, we're going to make our plus sign again. Get down there we go. And come across on the right here, 3, and 1 on the bottom, 1 on top, and then break out these 3 in the middle. And that'll set up our support for the clock on this side of the farm. So now before we do anything else, we need to set up our master lever. So we're going to put a lever right there, and then on each side of this we're going to place a redstone torch, just like so. So these redstone torches allow us to invert the signal. So up is on and down is off, just like a light switch. All right, so let's put some redstone dust down here. We're going to carry that over, and then we're going to put a redstone torch straight up this little tower we made originally. So 3 redstone torches up, just like so. And then a red piece of redstone, 4 pieces going across to a redstone repeater at 1 tick, and then another redstone repeater at 1 tick right there. So let's do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to run our redstone dust across, put our torch tower in, so 1, 2, 3 redstone torches, and then we're going to take redstone dust, bring it across 4 pieces, and then put a redstone repeater at 1 tick, and then another one on the other side of this block at 1 tick. So that's going to set up our on and off switch. So now let's set up our clock. So what we want to do, we got to add a little bit here first. Let's put that in right there. Put that. So you want to put 1 down next to that, and then 1 up, and then break that bottom one. Just both sides. So it looks like this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to place a redstone repeater on one tick going that way, another redstone repeater going one tick that way. Then we're going to put 2 pieces of redstone dust going up that one, and 2 pieces of redstone dust going up that one. Then we're going to go down in these little cubbies. I'm going to put 1 piece there, and then on the other side I'm going to put 1 piece there. And then in the middle I'll place a redstone torch, and that should start our clock. Alright, looks good. Let's go ahead and jump to the other side and get that side set up just like this one. Okay, so again, we got to build this up a little bit like I showed before. Now we're going to put a redstone repeater that way, redstone repeater going that way, 2 pieces of dust there, another 2 pieces there, then 1 in each cubby, and then a redstone torch in the middle to get our clock going. All right, looking great. So let's move down here. Now, before we can actually test this on and off switch, because it's connected at the top, we need to go ahead and break those signals up. See how it's still flashing on all the little lines there? So I'm going to take a block right up here, and I'm going to come over to the side. I'm going to place it right on top of that piece of redstone dust, right there. So it breaks that connection. And then I'm going to take this and bring it all the way across until it hits this next one and breaks that connection. All right, looks good. Looks good. Now we can go down and check out our master switch, make sure it's working. Now, it's currently in the on position. You can still see that the redstone is flashing up at the top. But if we move it to the off position, they go off. So they are no longer flashing. So that works. Both sides have stopped. So we can go ahead and check that again. Turn it back on. See it flashing on both sides. But we're going to leave it in the off position for right now, because we need it off. We don't need anything flowing. So let's check it. All right, looks good. So let's move on with the next step. So now we can start building up our ZeroTick Farm. Now this will be a frame of 19 by 5 blocks. And just build it up as I'm showing here. And then we're going to put this little pattern here of 2, skip 1, 2, skip 1, 1. And we're going to mirror that on both sides. Now after we do that, we're going to take our sticky pistons and we're going to place those facing the gaps, just like so. Just like we did in the previous thing for our ZeroTick Farm. Do that all the way down, changing directions on the other side, and then we're going to put sand on the other side of those gaps all the way around. So that'll be the bottom of our ZeroTick. Now we're going to place redstone across, which will tie into that blue block, and all your pistons should fire once you get it all the way down to each side, as you can see they're doing here. And that's what we want them to do. Now we go back, and everywhere there is not an extended piston, I want you to fill in with blue blocks, just like I'm doing now. So you're just going to work your way all the way around and cover everything up except the extended piston part. Include those middle fills like I showed there. And now that we have that done, we can take our sand and put 2 blocks of sand on top of every extended piston. So we'll get all those done, just like so. All right. Now, I did notice a problem when I was doing this, and we need to go down there and fix that real quick. So let's jump down here. So we're over here. I actually built this too short. We need to bring this out by 1. So we're going to do that real quick right now. So what I want you to do is I want you to take out these couple of blocks here. And then I want you to get rid of that water source inside there. You see it go away. And then we're going to break this rest of this out. Go ahead and swap this out down here for some packed ice, just like so. And then go ahead and cover this back up with some blue blocks. And then we're going to cover this all back up, make it all nice and neat with some glass blocks again. Place one up there, one right there. Make sure we leave that open so the stuff can flow down. And then we're going to bring one over there and then down there. But before we close it up, I'm going to take a bucket of water, place it inside there so it flows back down. Make sure it goes all the way to the pressure plate. And then I'm going to close this back up and cover up the corner, just like so. All right. So, all right, one little problem fixed. No worries. Okay, so now let's put in our water flow to move all the items down there. So we're going to place some packed ice there, there, and there. And then we're going to bring it back 8 blocks on each one, just like so. And then do the same thing on the other side. All right, we got all that done. Now, this looks good. So what we have to do is look down here and set up the flow down in between here. So down here, what I want you to do is I want you to take a block. I want you to place it in each corner, just like so. One there and one there. And then right next to those, right there and right there. So now, once we've got that, I want you to put one right in between there. We got to make sure everything flows down correctly. Now we're just going to kind of fill in between here. So we're going to place a couple blocks there, there. Then I'm going to turn around back over here. We're going to place one right there and right there. And then bring up two more. And then let's see, let's back up a little bit. Okay, and then 1, 2 there. Now the last thing you want to do is grab a sign and place it right in the middle over that hole. Just like that. Because we don't want the water to flow in there. So now, as we're looking at this, this will be the cactus side. What we want to do is go ahead and place our two buckets of water down here at the end. So that'll create our flow water to that edge. Looks good, looks good. Now I'm going to place a bucket of water back in this little corner here, just like that. And then the same thing on the other side, back in there. So now everything flows right into that hole and should work great. Now on the other side, this will be our bamboo side, we're going to go all the way out to that outside hole. So I need to place 1, 2, 3 packed ice right there. And then back underneath there, deep in there, I need to place a sign so the water doesn't flow down in that hole. Then I'm going to turn around and then come over here, go ahead and fill in that gap right there with another block. And then place a bucket of water inside there so it flows all the way to the hole on the other side. Great. Now we can go to the back and place a bucket of water there and then one in that corner. That sets everything up, and then we can just coast down the packed ice. Whee! Okay. Sorry, I'm having too much fun. Okay, now that we got it done, let's put our braking system in. So let's build this up, 2 blocks on the back of each of the top pieces of sand. We're going to do that all the way around. Okay, just like so. Now we're going to go to the other side. We're going to place regular pistons on top of every one. On this side, though, we need to place it and then break it, because this is where the cactus goes, and you can't have a block right next to cactus. So we're going to do that for all of these, but then we can leave them there on this side because it's bamboo. All right, looks good. Now we need to put in some glass. So this is the bamboo side, so we can just fill this all the way up. So just work your way down and build up all of this glass all the way down, all the way up to the top of the piston, as you see there, until you get to the next piston on the other side. So I'm going to get through this real quick. There we go. And then, all right, on this side, we're going to do the same thing and fill this all up, and then also enclose the back here. So let's go ahead and get all this glass in real quick. We want to make sure nothing gets lost. You know, can't have any losses in this. We need all that stuff to work for our system. So we get all this filled in. Doing good. All right. Now it's time to move on to the cactus side. Now for the cactus side, you can't have anything next to it, because if there's anything next to it, it won't stay there. So we got to come over here. We got to break this piece of glass, leave it open underneath that piston there, and then just kind of build it up around it, keeping that in mind. So watch as I place these. So you got to make sure you got to leave a gap all around that top of that sand block, so the cactus can be placed without it breaking. All right, so let's go ahead and get this finished up here now. All right, switch over to the other side. Let's go ahead and fill this up. And again, going through, make sure you just leave spaces in all directions next to that top of that sand block so we can place the cactus. All right, all good. Now let's go ahead and fill in the middle here. We'll make sure nothing goes from one side to the other. All right, looks good. So let's go ahead and put some cactus in here. As you place them, you see it's no problem. See, it's not there. Okay, see, so I forgot this one. So we break that piece of glass just to go show you can't place it either. So now we can place it. So let's jump over here and let's go ahead and get our bamboo in. Put all 6 pieces just like so. All right. Looks good. So how about we put some barriers in between these two things. So you're going to take your window panes now and you're going to put barriers right in between both sides, just like so. Now we do this so to make sure we don't lose anything, because with the ZeroTick going on and that sand moving back and forth, it'll fly all the way to the other side and fall out. So if we have these window panes as barriers in between, then make sure they hits those and falls down into the water stream and we don't lose anything. All right. Where'd you go? There you are. Hey! Okay, so let's go ahead and put a roof on this thing. So we're just going to kind of top this thing off. Just kind of cover everything up. I'm going to do a blue block on the side, then I'm going to do some glass. Hey! Get out of my way. Ah, bamboo grows so fast. Okay, there we go. So we're just going to speed through and go ahead and get a roof on this so we can work on getting this thing done. I mean, this has been forever. That looks good. Looks good. All right, so now the last bit of redstone. Let's jump into it. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here. We've got to fix this signal going up from this control circuit for the bamboo. So, first thing we got to do is down here we need to place a redstone torch right on top of this block, just like so. And then we're going to take a redstone repeater on one tick, place it right into that block. Then another redstone torch there, and then one on the side of this block right there. All right, so this works out pretty simple. So whenever this block right here, whenever this comparator over here gets a signal, goes through that block, fires that piston is going to push that blue block right over there, over that redstone torch, causing it to be powered, which will then power this red repeater, which will turn off that redstone torch, causing that redstone torch to come on. And then up here, that powers that block, which powers that repeater into that block, which will inevitably turn off your ZeroTick Farm. Okay, that's enough of that. So let's move on to our breaking blocks so we can get that done. So this is pretty simple. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take a block of choice, and we need to be able to run these up. So right off this block right here, you're going to put 3 blocks going up, and the same thing on the other side, just next to it, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to run redstone torches, 1, 2, and 3, right there. And the same thing on the other side. All right, getting there. Once we've got those, we're ready to go on the other side, route some more redstone dust. So on the side here, what you want to do is take your block of choice, and you're going to come up to the top, right up here on this top block, and you come out 2, and then you're going to drop it down 1, and go all the way over to that last piston on that side, just like so. Now, we're going to take some redstone dust, and we're going to place it right on top of there, and bring it all the way across, up onto these things, 1, 2, 3. Just like so. Piece of cake. No problems whatsoever. So I'm going to go through it one more time on the other side. So again, 2 blocks out, just like so. Go down 1, go all the way over. So we're going to go down 1, go all the way over to that last piston on that side. And then on the top, we're going to place redstone dust across. And then 1, where is it? 1, 2, and 3 pieces up there. All right. So that looks good. So we're going to bust through these other sides really quickly. Again, do our torch towers. Going up from our clock with our 3 redstone torches. Looks good. Then on the top, we're going to go out, come up here. We're going to go out 2, go down 1, and come over to that last piston on that side. Put the redstone dust across the top. And then again, on this side, do the same thing. Go out 2, go down 1, come across to that last piston. And then fill in that last bit of redstone. And that, my friends, is this thing all done and dusted. Whew! Now that was a long one. But now we have our own personal automated XP storage system. That's right, folks. This thing is awesome. How about we run around to the back and turn it on and let's check it out. All right, so let's jump down here. We're going to run around here to the back to our master switch and turn that thing on right there. And voila. All right, so we got our ZeroTick cactus going, flowing, and getting directed that way. And then we have our ZeroTick bamboo on this side, flowing and directed that way. So let's drop down here. Should see our cactus flowing in over here to the top of the furnaces, which it is. That looks good. And then over on this side, we should see our bamboo flowing in to our fuel hoppers back in the back. And that looks good too. Now as for up here, so over here on this left furnace, we should see that's already filled up with bamboo because it produces so fast. And it's already getting in there, so it's already filled up those 3 hoppers in the back. And then over here, we should have cactus flowing in. So 36, 37, 38, there we go. Yep, flowing in great. Now, in about approximately 45 minutes or so, the bamboo will catch up with the cactus. So, because our cactus is filling in from this side over to this way, and then the bamboo is flowing from left to right. So somewhere around here, this furnace right around here will be the first one to kick in and it'll start smelting that cactus into green dye. And then they'll slowly start expanding out as they start meeting up to each other. So the first time when you first prime it, it's going to take about 3 to 4 hours, and all of these furnaces will be ready to pull XP from. After that, once you pull it out and drain these droppers and hoppers down at the bottom into your disposal system over there, it'll take 2 hours and 40 minutes, give or take a couple of minutes, to refill that furnace with XP. So you'll have all you need to repair any tools or weapons or your elytra, or to use for any enchanting you might need. So this thing is going to be great. So you don't have to worry about different spawners or little XP farms. So you can have all this on demand. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it works great on your world. If you liked it, please leave a like below. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe because we've got more great tutorials coming out and some Let's Play fun coming out very soon. Thanks for coming out. Catch you later.